Welcome to the Love That For Us podcast.
Come hang out with us as we explore a holistic approach to entrepreneurship, wellness, and navigating relationships in adulthood.
We'll be getting vulnerable about life and dishing the business expertise we've learned along the way, interviewing industry professionals,
All while you get your weekly dose of girl talk and heart-to-hearts. We're your hosts, Carissa Emiko,
and Ashton Brooke.
and this is the Love That For Us podcast.
Hi, everyone. We're so excited for today's guest because my friend and fellow photographer, Cassidy Lynne, is here. Cassidy is a luxury wedding photographer and photography educator and content creator. She's been shooting since 2017 and creating content since 2020. And we're just so excited to have you and your business wisdom here. Also, what's super fun is I met you through photography, and I think I was the first guest on your podcast because you also have a education podcast called Oh Shoot, and you're my first guest on our podcast, which is so cute.
It is really cute. It's full circle.
That's
I'm
so
tearing
cute.
up.
Oh, we're emotional.
We're really emotional.
But seriously, thanks for being here. We're so excited.
Of course. Yeah, thanks for having me. I love that for us.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
You're so
you
on
do.
brand. Thank you.
I've been waiting to say that.
We've said it in every episode. It just flows off the tongue.
It's going to happen. It's going to keep happening. We'll never stop.
Cassidy, you and I met through just obviously Instagram. Then I came on your podcast, and then Will and I moved here to Grand Rapids where you live, and we kind of started meeting up and working together, going to coffee shops, and then we got our husbands to hang out, and then we started playing pickleball, and we've gone snowboarding together. Now we do soup Sundays and game nights, and just we're fully friends outside of work, which I think is fun.
Yes, I love how it's evolved. It just started with, hey, be a guest on my podcast, and now it's oh, can you watch my dog? Oh, yeah. Can Will make me soup?
Yeah, that's true. We've dog sat for each other.
Which, by the way, I got to, by way of staying at Ashton's house, dog sit for you and fell in love with your dog, whose name I forgot right now, but it's something from Star Wars, question mark?
Ooh, it's from Avatar.
Okay.
The Last Airbender.
Don't tell me. It's the big flying thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
starts
Tell
with
me.
an
A.
Appa.
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Yes.
I love Appa.
Carissa and
Yeah.
Appa bonded hardcore.
know,
We
right? It was
bonded,
so
and
cute.
I was really sad to give Appa back to you the
I'm
day I
so
met you.
sorry.
I was like, nice to meet you. Can I keep your dog?
I know, you were holding on to him, and I was like, can I have him
You're
back?
like, who are you? Let him go.
That's so funny. Yeah. Weird when your worlds intertwine like that. I was like, whoa, these are my friends that have never met, but that was really fun. That was for my birthday party weekend. And wish we could go back. I had a blast. Anyways,
Yeah.
Cassidy, tell us how and where and why you developed an entrepreneurial spirit. Was it at a young age, or how did you get to the place you are now of owning and running a business?
So I literally have been running businesses since elementary school, starting with my fourth grade classroom had these classroom dollars, and I would sell candy. I would go and buy candy at the store and sell candy for classroom dollars, and then I would use the dollars to buy a bigger prize or whatever.
Wow.
Literally started in fourth grade, and I actually started a hairstyling business in high school. So I was the hairstylist in my high school. I did hair for everyone's prom. I did, dances, weddings. I started to do brides. Yeah.
You are telling me that you did people's bridal hair as a teenager in high school.
I literally did. I was 15
Whoa.
or 16. And yeah, people were trusting me to do their hair in high school, which is so crazy. But I really developed I think that's where I started to really be okay, I want to be an entrepreneur. I really did think I was going to do hair for the rest of my life. I was going to go to cosmetology school and stuff, but that's kind of where my creative entrepreneurship kind of came together, and I realized that's what I love to do. And photography just kind of came along, something that I started to do in college and discovered I was pretty good at it. So that's how it all started. It was like back in elementary school. Yeah. And then I feel like I just kept developing and kept like doing more entrepreneurially. How do you say the word? Entrepreneurial?
Yeah,
That is a weird
entrepreneurial.
word, but yeah.
Entrepreneurial.
Anyway, I'm not in STEM or anything like that. So like,
we take photos.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you started photography in college. How did that come about? Like, were you just taking people's senior photos or for friends for fun? How did that all start?
Yeah, so I actually joined the photography team at the college I went to, and I was doing like events and stuff. So like the soccer game I'd go and take photos of, or like a basketball game, or like a concert or whatever. I did, kind of pair that with taking photos of like my sisters and stuff. So like when I would go home on breaks, I'd take photos of my sisters and like my friends, just so I could start to get that portrait experience. And then slowly it turned into couples, and then slowly it turned into weddings. Just
You went
kind
back
of like,
to weddings, just not for hair.
exactly. Yeah.
The wedding industry just has a hold on you.
It just kept calling you.
I think I like wedding photography better than wedding hair though, because wedding hair was pretty stressful. Yeah. And it was just like you were there for like 2 hours and then that was it. You just went home. It felt weird.
Yeah. But people look at what we do with wedding photography and they're like, that's so stressful. And we're like, yeah.
Yeah. It's not as stressful as you think. You guys get it. Like I don't think wedding photography is as stressful as you think. It's stressful, but I feel like in a different way.
I agree.
Yeah, it's just like a high pressure one day thing that happens, and then it's kind of easy breezy after that.
Easy breezy, beautiful.
Cover girl.
What is something you like most love about being a business owner, or was there something that like attracted you? Did you even know that you were gonna like being your own business owner, or were you just like, I have it in me, I feel confident I can do it?
Honestly, there wasn't anything specific that attracted me to it. I think it just was like a natural thing that happened. And like low-key, I don't work great with like a boss over me either. Like I'm just like, don't tell me what to do. I know what I'm doing. Like respectfully, like please, like let me do my own thing. Yeah. Like, so I think it just was like a natural thing. Like I said, I was doing it in high school. And so like, I got a little taste of it when I was doing part-time photography, part-time working for a nonprofit, also shooting. Like I was getting a taste for my own business, what it was like to like run it. I think it really just kind of happened when I started to see, I can make more money in my business than I can working for someone else's business. And I've always thought that like, I don't know, it always feels weird. Like I'm working 40 hours a week to grow your business. Like, why don't I do 40 hours a week to grow my own business? Like I've always had that mindset of like,
yeah, I
don't really like working for you. I want to work for me,
and have your own freedom and flexibility and hours and everything.
Yeah.
I feel like so many entrepreneurs have that like sassy piece of us. We're just like, why would I do that for you when I could do that for me? Like, we're just like, don't tell me what to do. I don't need like a boss. I'll be my boss. Like, I feel like that's just such a common thread with entrepreneurs of just wanting to go their own way.
Are you an Enneagram 3?
I don't think so. Okay. I can't ever remember what mine is. I think I'm a 6.
Oh, okay. That's connected to a 3 with like in a different way.
Yeah. I don't know though.
Yeah. Maybe we need to have a separate Enneagram conversation, Cassidy.
I know. Can you take the quiz live?
I'm obsessed with the Enneagram. That would be such a vulnerable thing to take that quiz live.
It really live would on be. The podcast. Do you ever like freak yourself out that you're the one responsible for making money in this way, or does it motivate you?
Oh yeah. I have like a crisis every like couple of months. And honestly, it's like different things that trigger me. Like my recent thing was like, I have a deal with Amazon and like I didn't do like all the videos I was supposed to. And I literally was like, I'm getting fired. Like I'm never working with them again. And that sent me into a crisis of like, how am I going to make money? Like I shared that on my story, I think, like that I have like a lot of crises about my career. And I got a lot of DMs of people being like, oh, I have that too. Like, it's funny to like, I view you as like the goal, but like you still have these thoughts that I have. And I'm like, yeah, it doesn't like, at least for me, it doesn't get better. Like, as you start to like make more money, it almost just stresses me out.
Yeah, because any amount of like weddings booked or followers you've gained or whatever like authority you start to position yourself with in your industry doesn't equal, it's not like 1+1 = 2, and when I get to 2 all of a sudden I'm like at peace and like never worried or never mess up. It's just like people view you as like, oh, you're already at step 2 and I'm still at step 1. It's like, no, we're literally experiencing the same things. I maybe just started 5 years before you did, and we still share the same human experience as business owners, which includes like that freak out or that self-doubt. One of the things I wanted to ask you about was like imposter syndrome. Was that recent experience with like your Amazon deal something that made you feel imposter syndrome, like come in hot and heavy, or do you experience it at all still?
I don't know if what I experience is imposter syndrome. I think it's more just like sometimes I feel like, oh, why would someone want to work with me? Like there's a million people out there that kind of do what I do. Like specifically with the Amazon thing, I was like, there's a million people they could find to do what I do for them. So it's just like almost that feeling. I don't know if it's necessarily like
I feel
I'm
that's
an
like
imposter.
impostery.
Yeah.
That's impostery.
Okay.
I don't know. It's kind of
like self-doubt.
in the
Yeah.
neighborhood of imposter syndrome.
Yeah. It's same vibes. But what was your question again?
Just like, has there been any recent imposter syndrome that you've experienced, or do you at all?
Yeah, it's probably that. I also had like a moment this summer where I was just like really trying to figure out like where's my business heading, and that's something that I'm really trying to focus on is like everything that I say yes to aligning with like where I want my business to go. This is a conversation me and Ashton had literally like a couple days ago. Because it's like there's opportunities, but it's like what I need to say yes to, like does it align with where I want my business to go? So in the summer I feel like I really had like a moment of being like, okay, the things I'm saying yes to, I don't feel like everything is helping me get to where I want to be. So I have decided to cut some things out that I normally would say yes to give me more time to grow my business in other ways, which is really scary because it's like I'm saying yes to money making opportunities in hopes that these other things that I put my time into make me more money or like are more fulfilling for me. But I don't necessarily know if it's going to, work out.
Yeah.
Right. But that risk is like so worth it because those are the things that actually feel good and feel aligned. Where I think like when you start a business, you're kind of saying yes to like every opportunity that comes your way because you're just like, get in the door. Okay, I'm going to photograph this. At least I've photographed like couples for free in the beginning just to get a portfolio, or you're just like doing all these things.
Freaking
to get
family
the
mini shoots. I'm like, I guess I'm supposed to do family minis.
And then you get to this point where you're at where you get like to just be honestly just more picky with how you're spending your time so that you can feel really good about every single thing that you're doing, which is cool.
When
have
you shared, oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. Have you have a following, you have a good old following on the gram. Has like the pressure of being anything, I don't know, insert here, has that grown as your following has grown? Do you feel like you have people expect more of you, or you have to like be something? Have you ever felt that pressure on social media?
Honestly, no. I love
that for you.
I really view social media kind of as like I'm posting the things that I want to show like my sisters and my mom. Like I just feel like when I post, I'm just posting for the people I care about, and whoever wants to be there along the way can be there along the way. I honestly, social media is very freeing for me. It's very much a creative outlet for me. I know that everything I do on there is not going to succeed. I do know that people probably have expectations for me. People want, just like people expect certain things for you as you grow a following, like, and have a platform. But at the end of the day, I'm always like, I don't have to do anything. I literally don't have to do anything. Like, I don't have to post every single day. I can if I want to. I don't have to post about this. I don't have to post about this. Obviously, unless I'm being paid to, then I will. I think it's more, like I really don't see feel a pressure, maybe not so much anymore. Maybe when I was growing, when I started to really see those numbers every single day, I would grow a lot of followers. There was a little bit of pressure there because I'm like, I have the traction, I need to keep going. But I am kind of at a point where it's not stagnant. I'm still growing, but not as much. I kind of think like the algorithm and stuff has changed a little bit to where my posting is not going to get me like the most followers anymore. But not really pressure.
So if it's not pressure, I love that you're like, would my family want to see this? Like, that's who I'm going to like just share with. Is that how you think like a lot of your personal brand developed?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I would literally just post like my chai every day. And then it became like, oh, you like chai, or like my matcha. And then it became, oh, I'm posting, like I'm going to create matcha presets because I just like matcha. I think like that is really, I think, how the best social media accounts are run, or honestly just the best businesses are just run by doing something that you love. So photography is something that I really love, but like I also really love fashion and like video editing. Like those are things that I really enjoy. I always have. So I think like integrating what you love into your business, whether if it is photography, cool. Like if you also like makeup or you also like thrifting, like incorporating that into your brand, I think that is what makes it so well-rounded and so you. I actually just had someone DM me. Oh, no. It was on a mentor session. And someone was like, everything you post is so Cassidy. Like every time you post, I'm like, that's so Cassidy. And she's like, how do you do it? I'm like, I literally am just being me.
Literally being.
Right, exactly. Like I'm literally just being Cassidy. Like I do feel like there are some elements on social media I kind of embellish a little bit. Like, yeah, I like matcha, but like I'm not drinking it like 6 times a day. You know what I mean? But like sometimes like you kind of pick and choose what you show and what you don't show. But yeah, I do think that's like kind of how the personal brand developed, was just by posting what I liked. And that's literally
and that connects people.
Yeah, it does.
Such good social media advice too, because I think so many people can get caught up in the social media strategy of like, what do I post? But you're just such a good example of being true to yourself. I love. You're just like, what should I post for my mom or my siblings, my family, whatever. Like that's such a good mindset for somebody to get into who's maybe just starting to grow their account, because then you're really just going to be super authentic to who you are. And I think people are like, what should I post? And they're looking at what other people are doing. Oh, this girl has a fashion account and that does well for her. Oh, Cassidy talks about matcha and that does well for her. And they're like, maybe I should talk about matcha. But if you just really actually show what you actually love, like that's naturally going to come into fruition, instead of like feeling like you have to work so hard to figure out your brand pillars or your content pillars. And it doesn't actually have to be that hard. It actually can be really easy when you just be instead of do your social media.
Do you use brand pillars? When we say that, I don't know if people are like, what's a brand pillar?
Yeah, honestly, I would say no. I probably have them like in my head, but honestly, no. Like I am not that structured. That's way too much admin for me.
Too much
We're not
admin.
that structured either. Has your personal brand like changed recently or just developed? Like how has it developed since you started even sharing about photography ever online?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's definitely changed. I feel like when I first started sharing, I first started doing photography, I was just posting my work and that was it. But then I started to get into TikTok in 2020. I started doing more education. But I feel like I was doing a lot of like trends and like not really showing like I wasn't talking as much. I was just kind of like showing my work and like little stuff like that. And then slowly I started integrating my voice into my social media platforms. I started doing a lot more original content versus like following trends. And personally, I will always be a huge fan of create your own original content. Yeah, I do trends sometimes, but like there's a reason it's a trend, you know, like it's like you're kind of following what someone else does versus like I want to do my own thing. And I honestly, not to like to my own horn or anything, but I do feel like that kind of makes me stand out a little bit, because I do a lot of like my own thing versus like, oh, here's what another photographer is doing, I'm just going to copy what they do. Like I'm like looking at, you know, I follow all sorts of different people and I'm just like getting inspired by who knows what, someone that builds furniture, you know, like, or someone that makes candy. I literally follow a candy making account. Logan's candies. They're the best.
What does that do for you inspirationally? Like why do you do that?
I think I just like to see how other people are succeeding, like what types of videos are succeeding. Like, I don't know, like, is it a voiceover? Is it a story? Like, I'm just noticing these things. And then I like think about myself as a consumer. And then I think about myself as a creator and what do my consumers want to see?
This is getting deep. Can I?
It's
this
really
is like no. This is because it's not just like what you're talking about is psychological sales trends, not necessarily like, oh, this is a trend. This is a trending audio with a trending reel or TikTok that you make. Yeah. You're like, no, I'm looking at the trends of people. I'm like paying attention to what people are consuming and what they're watching and paying attention to, so that you can replicate that. And that's such a powerful way to view trends, as opposed to like, I'm just going to jump into the hype pool of this like trending reel or TikTok and it goes viral once, but that's actually not helping my brand because it's just a one-off like random viral thing, as opposed to actually building a brand based off of who you are authentically and actually just paying attention to what's going on in the social media world.
So I'm a psychiatrist is what you're saying.
So you should start social media therapy for people.
Thank you. Okay. That's my next thing. Therapy by Cassidy.
I think you have your, what is the phrase? Like your hands in different things. What's the phrase I'm looking for?
What is
like
that
hands
phrase?
in pots or
pots?
Pots?
You have
like cooking pots?
You have your hands in different
like you
buckets?
have a lot of hands in pots.
Oh, somebody DM us if you know what we're
Help
talking
me
about.
out. Okay, but
you're doing lots of things.
You're doing lots of things. You have a podcast where I feel like that's specifically where you're pouring value to your audience. It's a niche place for you. And on Instagram, you're so personal. Like people, I expect honestly like almost more personal content and just like you sharing your life there than I do for you to post a bunch about like wedding photography. It's like, even in your original content, like I feel like people just get to know you. And I think that's such a valuable piece for someone who's like struggling to know how to share their business or develop a personal brand. And it's like, honestly, be confident in creating content that is original to you. And that's where like people are connecting to you. And then you have these other outlets of like, this is where I'm giving a lot of value. And then you have an outlet of like providing a stream of income through like courses. Like you have these options for like sales, but you see how this is like all interconnected. It's like you're bringing people into your life. You're adding value both on Instagram, but also so much in your podcast. And then people know you and they like you and they trust you then when you're selling something, which isn't that often that you're like, I have a new course, I have new presets. It's just like often enough that you're running this kind of like well-oiled machine, you know?
Mm-hmm. And honestly, can I say all of that was kind of by accident? Like it wasn't like I sat down and was like, I need to start a podcast so that I could sell stuff so that I can do this. Like it literally was like, oh, I just feel like I should start a podcast. Like I just feel like that'd be fun. Like I decided on a Tuesday and posted like all my episodes the next week. You know what I mean? Like it was just like one of those things.
Who are you?
Honestly, I don't know. Jeff Bezos? Who am I? I don't know.
I have conversations with people that like know you and they'll be like, I don't know how Cassidy does it. And I'm like, dude, I don't either. She exhausts me. But then like, I'll also see you. I'm like, you have a life though. Like you'll be like 1 p.m. on a Wednesday. Do you guys want to go play pickleball?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that I've automated or kind of like, you know, outsourced. But I think like just the whole business structure of it just started with like literally what I like to do. I was like, I like to post these TikTok videos. And then I was like, well, if someone wants to learn from me additionally, I'm going to create a $30 guide. I created one $30 guide and then I had two $30 guides. And I was like, if someone wants to buy these, they can. And honestly, I wasn't selling a lot. It's like, whatever. Mm-hmm. And then I came out with like a course just for fun. And then is when I started my podcast. You know, it just kind of like kept growing. And yeah, I just felt like it was the right thing to do. Like I literally just felt it like, oh, I should do this. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like I'm getting this sense of you as a businesswoman where you just like kind of hold things loosely and you're willing to like throw spaghetti at the wall and just like try it out. Like, does
my life is spaghetti?
Like, okay.
Spaghetti.
Okay, because there's this theme. I keep hearing you say like, I did this just for fun. A podcast sounded fun, so I just did it. And I feel like that is something that so many people can take a page from your book from. Was that the right phrase? Take a page from your book. Good. That was good. Okay. Thank you. Well placed phrase. Because that's not how a lot of people do their business. They're like so in the strategy or what am I supposed to do? It's that hard thing. I'm creating this sales funnel. I'm going to have them listen to the podcast to buy the course, blah, blah. And it's so meticulous and calculated, and you're just like, I'm just gonna try this and see what happens. And I think your energy behind that of like you're holding it loosely, it just makes everything so much more flowy. Like things flow to you, things flow from you, and it just sounds fun. Like I'm like, I want to do that. I want to like throw spaghetti at a wall and have like not really be attached to the outcome. Like it sounds like you don't really attach yourself to the outcome of like the success of a product or a course. Is that true?
Yeah, I would say most of the time. I mean, I'm definitely attached to some of the things I do, but I'm more than willing to launch something. And if it fails, if one person buys it, I'm like, okay, like one person bought it. Like maybe I just won't do that again. But you know, like, I don't know. So for example, like my merch, like I just started doing it because I was like, I am bored. This sounds fun. And then I was like, wait, like I actually feel like I can make some cute stuff. So I just kept doing it. And like, it's not my biggest moneymaker. It's not, but it's like what I like. Like I look forward to it.
It's
every
fun,
drop. I'm
right.
so excited. Yeah. And I think like every business owner needs like those little things in their business. Maybe they're not super profitable. Could be mini sessions. Maybe you like low key kind of like newborns. Like low key, you're like, I would love to just see a baby for an hour. Like maybe you just do the session, not because it's like something you want to like actually do in your business long term, but it's like, this is just something that I think is fun and makes me happy, or something new. Like you go, you know, to a styled shoe or something just out of the box. Like I feel like it can become robotic if you don't do stuff like that.
And it just keeps like you creatively fulfilled, where there's not this like monetary pressure involved in like the result of something. And I think nowadays people like who have entrepreneurial spirits were just like, well, this has to be good. And I want to produce a product or a service or something that's like going to kill it. And I love your outlook on just like, but what's fun and like inspiring to you, where you can take away the pressure of like how it does or how much profit you make. Obviously, like we want to be profitable, and I think that's good and okay. But these like avenues that you've branched out to are just like filling that creative side, because you have like, that was kind of one of my next questions. Like you've branched out to other things. Like, how do you make room in your personal brand and your business? Like if you have a niche, say wedding photography business, how does someone like branch out on the same platform to like try other things or like bring people into new passions or ideas that you have?
Yeah. You literally just do it. Like, people put themselves in boxes. You're putting yourself in a box if you think you can't like do something else. Like, I think that's what people want to see.
Out of the box. Out of the box.
Yes.
Do you guys remember that?
I do.
Remember that show?
I was out of the womb barely, but I do remember that. Yes.
She's younger than us, remember?
Fresh out of the womb.
Just
I was
trying to remind
probably
you. Yeah.
a little tot.
Yeah, but like I feel like people do put themselves in boxes, and like if you want to try something else, who knows what it is. If it's education, I don't know. There's lots of things you can try. Editorial work, literally just try it. Like you're literally,
it's not that deep.
And it's like
It's
you
not
are the
that
one.
deep.
You're the one holding yourself back.
Always.
Yeah, most likely. So yeah, I'd say literally
Amazing.
if there's something anyone wants to do, just do it. Like, and if it doesn't succeed, it's okay. Like it's not
I'm
like
literally
your life
inspired
dependent
right
on
now.
it. Yeah,
I'm
Girl.
inspired. I want to fill my month with fun now. Just
Do it.
only fun
Yes.
things.
Yeah,
I think like go ahead.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. I feel like it's just like kind of making room for the artists, because that's kind of like where you started, was being an artist, and then like you turned into a business owner, but not losing like the artistic side of it. I think is really important. Like I try to take my business owner hat off and put on the artist hat quite frequently, because that's, you know, like literally why I'm here. So just like making sure you still make room for the inner artist, and it's not so like rigid that you want to die. Right.
Wow. I love
So
that
important.
so much. It's just, it's art for art's sake. And if you're a creative who's also a business owner, like, at least for me, I relate to your like fourth grade story. Like I was like making money and finding ways to make money from birth, like just anything and everything. But I would always learn some new creative outlet or a new medium of art and then find a way to make money doing it, and then get discouraged or burnt out because I was only trying to make money doing the art as opposed to creating with the art. And art for art's sake, like I like just like love that analogy of like, okay, let's take off the business owner hat and put back the artist hat on, because the artist doesn't really care about making money, they just care about making art. And then the creative flow that comes from that honestly probably will serve your business owner self after you've just been able to create for creation's sake.
Yeah. And I think like when it comes to marketing, like, okay, so like you're an artist, but you do have to market yourself at the same time. And a lot of the times people just view that as a mundane task that you have to do. But that in itself, marketing is also an art form. And like I truly do view like video editing and like marketing as another form of art. So like I feel like you kind of have to have like that artistic view on a lot of different, you know, on marketing, on different areas in your business where you normally wouldn't have that view. Like it's very easy to just, you know, do what everyone else is doing, stick to a template, whatever. But like stepping outside of the box and marketing in your actual like job, I don't know, in your emails, there's other things you could do it in, but I can't really think of it. So yeah, that's all I have to say.
I appreciate your like approach. You have this part of your personality that's just like pretty matter of fact, and like you take the emotions out of some of your business decisions. Ooh, that word.
It's a hard one.
Business decisions.
It got slurry there for a second. I appreciate, and you inspire me in the way that you, and this might just be like my perception, but I just don't feel like you're always like emotionally making choices. And I think that's really lent itself to your success and propelled you forward in ways that like other people get stuck because they're like, the artist side of us also comes with like emotions attached.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So true.
I definitely still like, there are some things that trigger emotions in me. Obviously I'm not like a sociopath, like I have emotions, but like
Right.
the whole thing with Amazon, like I was mentioning the Amazon videos, that did send me into like a 2-day depression where I was just like, bro, I am so upset over this. Like I lost an opportunity, but obviously I didn't end up losing the opportunity. But like, you know, like there are still emotions, but I do get what you're saying. And I think it is healthy in some sense to not get too emotionally attached to things. I think that's something that I've just learned in my business journey, especially like when you're first starting out, you work with a lot of people who are budget shoppers and they just like ghost you and like get your hopes up and then they let you down. And I learned very quickly that like I cannot get emotional about this because it's just the name of the game. They're just looking for a wedding photographer. Like they're not looking for me to be their best friend for the rest of their life and they're rejecting me as a person. Like they're literally just like, it's wedding photography. It's a big deal, but it's not like my whole entire existence is going to fall apart if someone says they don't want to book with me. So I think that's something I had to learn pretty early on because I do get like emotional sometimes, but I think in my business I've tried not to be, you know, like I gotta be a big girl, I gotta toughen up, you know.
Totes.
Okay,
quick pivot. I want to talk about passive income, and my first question is passive income really actually passive?
Oh my gosh, no.
that's a good question.
Yeah, no, it's not. Like it is once you spend like 2 years setting it up, you know what I mean? I mean, yeah, there are some things that are a little bit more passive than others. Like I think like affiliate links and stuff, like that's a little bit less work, but you still have to go and market it. You still have to create a platform where people care about your affiliate links. So no, I don't think there's any true form of passive income. There is a point where you've set it up perfectly to where you don't really need to market it anymore. Like I feel like with my presets, I'm kind of at a point where it's like word of mouth and like my work speaks for itself. And so those are more, they are really passive. Like I don't really mention them as much, but there are other things in my career where I do have to mention them. Like, I do have to market it. It's not 100% passive. So yeah, no, I would say no.
What is something that someone needs to do before they can like actually venture into something that's quote unquote passive income?
Was something that they need to do before. I think just kind of like make sure you know what your goal is with your passive income. Like, what's your goal in your business period? Like, what are you trying to do with this? Like, don't like release like, I don't know, like a website template if you're not actually like trying to be an educator, you know, like don't like do things that don't actually align with your end goal. Like, make sure whatever you're trying to earn passively is helping you get to like whatever the end goal is. There's lots of end goals, but yeah, I would say like just make sure it aligns first before you just launch it. I mean, I feel like it's a little bit hypocritical of me because I do just kind of willy-nilly launch things, but
no, I don't think it's hypocritical. I know what you're saying.
But I think the alignment piece, like that you focus on, it just makes sense, but you're still willing to try it out. Like you're not like blindly being an idiot about your business, but you're also willing to like take risks and just like throw spaghetti at the wall and see what happens.
Yeah, because passive income can look so, it's like such this like sexy phrase that we're like, oh, I want passive income. Like I want to just make money in my sleep. But that's kind of why I brought it up. It feels like a little bit of a false promise, and to just go for something randomly that doesn't align isn't going to serve you, or the work that you have to put in isn't going to be inspiring to end up making things a little bit more passive. And my other question about that would be, do you think a strong personal brand is something that like people need to lay the foundation with first to be successful with something like passive income?
I would say most of the time, yeah. Like that actually is something that popped into my head. Like after I answered your question, like I do feel like you kind of have to have like that brand established. I mean, there are some ways you can have passive income. Like if you were to sell presets on Etsy, and if you just got really popular on Etsy, like that's not really a personal brand. That's more just like a search thing. Like someone literally Googles like, I don't know, whimsical presets or something, like your presets could pop up, you know? But I would say for the most part, if you want like loyal customers, like recurring loyal customers, that personal brand is so crucial to set that up beforehand. Yeah. And I don't think it needs to be as deep as everyone thinks, like, oh, making a personal brand. It literally starts by just showing people what you love to do, and what you're passionate about.
Do you think that why do you think people get lost with like this need for like growing a following? Because I know I have gotten this question, and I'm sure you get flooded with this. It's just like, how did you grow? And we're like obsessed with that it almost like puts this like tension and pressure of like how to show up, and it instead takes away the joy and like just casual, natural way of showing up. Like, what's your advice to someone that's probably asking you the freaking same question all the time? Like, how do you grow? And do you think that's the right question that we should be asking?
Yes and no. I do think there's a certain number of followers that kind of make someone more trustable, you know, more trustworthy than someone else, which sucks. That I really wish that wasn't the case, but I do think like there's a certain number that once you're in a higher number followers, you are a little bit more trustworthy. I feel like people just view that as more credible. Like I said, I wish that wasn't the case, but that is just kind of how our brains are wired. I don't think you need to grow following wise in order to have a successful business. I think it just depends on where you want to do your marketing. If you are getting a lot of clients like word of mouth, like forget Instagram, literally forget about Instagram. We don't need her. But like if you do find yourself getting a lot of bookings from Instagram, then I think growing a following would be super helpful. I did do a poll on my Instagram like maybe a year ago, and I asked people like, would you rather have a photographer with tons of amazing reviews or like a high Instagram following? And people said Instagram following.
Wait, that surprised me. I thought it was going to be reviews.
No, it wasn't.
Whoa.
And so I mean, obviously like it's just an Instagram poll. It's not like a college research paper, but you know what I mean? Like, I just think it's interesting that's what people view as like trustworthy and credible. So I think it's partially important, but I think you have to do it in the right way. Like grow your followers. Obviously there's like bad ways to grow your followers. Like followers do not equal money. Okay. Like I have $100,000 100,000 like followers, but that does not equal $100,000. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's not the same thing. Do I have a larger reach? Yes, but it's not like it equals money. So I don't think you need it, but I do think it makes you credible.
And contributes to the success that you have, but it doesn't equate to success. Like,
No.
I think some people can think like, oh, once I get X amount of followers, then I'll have what I want, or I'll reach my business goals, or I'll find the success. But that's just so not true. Like, there's so much that goes behind the scenes of running a business, and that's not about following or that number that's there.
Yeah. And I mean, I think it matters. Like obviously the people on Instagram are the ones that care about Instagram followers. So like it matters like where you're like where are the people that you are connecting with. Like I have clients who literally don't even have Instagram. They literally don't have Instagram. I had a client who went viral on my TikTok and I had to show her on my phone because she like didn't have the app. Like there are just some people that just don't have social media and don't care about that.
And
like,
don't care.
Yeah, and some people do care. Like some people care more about reviews, and some people care more about a cool website.
Right.
Like it literally just depends on the type of people that you're booking, and your audience.
It surprised me about the like what do you want more in a photographer, like followers or reviews? Because my gut instinct is like reviews. Like I want to know that people like trust them, who worked with them in person, like had a very real experience with them. Reviews to me are huge, and I always feel like people with service-based industries, like or service-based jobs, we lack that like urgency to collect good reviews and how those speak for themselves. Because totally aside from weddings or whatever industry you're in, I'm constantly looking when I'm buying from Amazon, how are the reviews? Like if it's under 4 stars, I honestly talk myself out of it. If it's a restaurant, I'm looking up on like Google Maps. I'm like, bad reviews. Like I don't want to go there. And it's like my brain just works like that. So, and it had nothing to do with like the numbers associated with that. So I don't know. I just find that interesting.
I think I might be like, I think I might just value things a little bit differently because I look restaurants up on Instagram. And I'm like, okay, what is your following like? Like, how cool is your Instagram?
Ooh,
and
honey.
I do think sometimes people like if someone goes to your page and you have 100,000 followers, in my brain, I'm like, okay, they must have those followers for a reason.
For a reason.
I mean? Like, there's a reason that all of those people are following them. It's almost like those are kind of built-in reviews a little bit. Not that they've worked with them directly, but they've experienced their brand enough that they continue to follow and choose to follow.
What if they bought their followers and it's like they have such low engagement?
Well, then that's the
what about that,
exception.
Cassidy?
Well, then I'm screwed. I'm going to bad restaurants, okay?
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. Okay, cool. Anything else before we get to our speed round questions?
I don't have a question. No, I don't have a question for myself. I'm good. I'm good to go.
You're like, no, I'm the one being interviewed here.
Yeah, I'm like, do you guys have questions?
You're like, no, actually, do you have any more questions for me? You just start taking over the podcast.
Did you want to interview Carissa and I?
No.
Okay. Well, before we get to those, thank you so much for chatting about all that. I think this is such fun conversation and just good to get different experience from different people who have obviously like a different view and lens. Like I think we just showed that we do, like we look for value in different ways, and people can run their businesses through their own lens and through their own like beliefs and still be successful. So good stuff. Okay. This is what we call sort of speed round, because you don't know what these questions are, but we want you to answer kind of fast, but also not like with pressure. Like there's no time limit.
Okay.
If you need a second, and then they get deeper and deeper. So if we need to like talk about it.
Yeah. Are you, this is a question I didn't prepare for, but like on a scale of 1 to 10, how vulnerable on your podcast would you say you get?
This is not a speed round question, by the way.
This is not.
This is a preface to the speed round.
I would say not too vulnerable. Like I have like life updates I do, but a lot of the times it's more just like teaching and sharing my experiences. Yeah. I mean, I'm not like a super vulnerable person to begin with. Like I feel like you really gotta pry things out of me. You know what I mean? Like I got everything really close to my chest. So I feel like on my podcast it's more like lighthearted, rather than like here's this really sad thing that happened to me this week. Like I don't really do that.
Yeah. Totally. Okay, well we're gonna start really easy with what's your current go-to snack?
Guys, I like don't have snacks in my house. It's really sad. I'm like super hungry right now. Like just right now, like we need to go get snacks. I actually have been eating these little churro things that Ashton showed me one time.
From Costco?
Yeah, but I found them at Aldi. But yeah.
Oh
wait, actually I found them at Meijer. But yeah, they're like these like it's literally called You Need This, and they're like these cute, it's this cute little like pink bag, and they're churros.
Oh, I'm gonna go buy them.
Yeah.
Sounds
really
yummy.
Churro chips.
so good. They are delicious. Okay, what's the most favorite place you have visited?
My bed. I'm just kidding. I just went to Italy, so I would feel like that is probably favorite as of right now, because it's really fresh. Like we went to Capri specifically, like the island of Capri was gorge.
Oh,
yeah.
Jelly.
Love
I've
that
never
for
been
you.
to Italy. Okay, what is a current favorite product that you're into right now?
Ooh, products. What products do I even use? Oh my gosh,
You're a
literally
product
blanking.
girly.
I am. I really am. I have been doing heatless curls. Like,
Okay.
I stopped doing them for a little bit, but I just recently started doing them again. And like the way that I feel like Farrah Fawcett just like so like gorge with these heatless curls. It's like this heatless like rod thing, and then it comes with these scrunchies, and then I just wrap my hair up in it. Yeah,
Are your
in it at
current
night.
curls right now heatless curls?
They heatless curls.
Heatless curls.
They were, but then I had to recurl it today because I shot like my merch today.
They're like half heatless curls.
Yes, and you know what they say: the uglier you look when you go to bed, the prettier you wake up. You know what I mean?
Okay. I have one of those rods sitting in my drawer, and I have yet to try it out. But
Please, it does.
I'll give it a try.
Your curls will be bouncier probably than you would prefer, but like they fall really nicely. Like at first it's like a jump scare, and then it's like, wait, these are actually like good.
Okay, great.
I mean, she did hair. I feel like we can trust her.
She did hair.
Yeah, like
when she was
10 years
14.
ago, but okay.
Still. Okay, what? Oh, wait, it's yours to ask her. So sorry.
No, it's yours.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
What was your first job?
Oh, when I was 15, I was a busser at a Chinese restaurant. Yeah. I will say customer service is not really my forte. I always got critiqued on like, Cassidy, smile, Cassidy, be nice to people, and I'd be like, please, like,
I have
let me
RBF.
just give you your food. Yeah, literally, I have RBF. This
Same.
is not my passion. I'm wearing ugly clothes, like all the things. Like I was
Let
not
me
happy
live.
either.
Right. You're like, I'm not cheery right now. This isn't a cheery experience.
Yeah. But I mean, it was
so
like
funny.
a really cute like first job. Like I literally just like bust tables at a Chinese restaurant, would do like the to go for them. It was like a family owned restaurant. So it was really cute and wholesome.
Cute. Appropriate.
Wholesome.
What would you rather watch a show or read a book?
Probably read a book. I'm not a big TV person. I don't know. Like I go with TV, I go in waves. With books, I feel like I'm pretty consistent. Like I always have a book.
What
that
are you
I'm
reading? What are you reading right now?
Right now I'm reading Akatar, A Court of Thorns and Roses series.
Yes.
Have you guys heard of that?
I have.
Okay, it's like
I think Tyler's reading that right now, or did. But
okay.
yes,
it's like it's a fantasy like fiction book, which fantasy is a little far for me. I'm usually into like the rom-coms, but like it's it's fantasy. Like we've got magic and stuff like that, which is that's
Elves,
a little
unicorns.
No, actually it's a little past what I normally would prefer, but it is very interesting. Once you get hooked, it's giving like Hunger Games / Twilight. Like it's a mix kind of the two. So yeah.
Okay. I feel like I've seen this a lot on Instagram. People are reading this.
Yes. I honestly think it's going to be like the next big series into a movie type of thing. Like similar to Twilight and Hunger Games. I think they'll probably turn it into a movie.
You heard it here first.
Oh, I'm sure.
Okay.
Okay. I'm definitely not the first person to say that, but that's okay.
Okay. Do you have any repeating dreams?
Oh gosh, that's deep. That is so deep. I no. Not repeating. I do have lucid dreams, which are terrifying. Where like
Me too.
I open my eyes. Yeah, and like a spider's falling on me, and I actually physically react to them, so I will jump out of bed and start hitting the bed.
Nothing.
And like
Oh.
no, like there's nothing there, but like I start like acting like, you know, like oh, a mouse just jumped into my bed. I'm gonna freak out, and like Charlie would be like, Cassidy, there's no mouse, or like
Oh my gosh.
yeah. So
Sounds
You wake
tiring.
up and you think that was like real, but it wasn't your dream. Relatable. Lucid dreams are so trippy.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, what compliment do you hear most online?
compliment. I feel like I get a lot of people who like my hair recently because I got extensions. So people be
the
like,
heatless
your
curls.
hair is slaying, and I'm like, thank you. I spent $500 how to look like this, so it better be slaying.
Thanks, I bought it.
Yeah, literally.
What is the biggest compliment you hear from most people in your real life, like that know you?
Oh, everyone thinks I'm so funny. No, I don't know. I don't know. Like genuinely,
I'm
I mean,
just like really funny.
I feel like most of the time people will be like, oh, I like your outfit. I get that a lot. Like, oh, I like what you're wearing, or look, you look really cute. I would say that is probably, yeah, not like, I usually don't get deep compliments. Like, oh my gosh, you're the nicest person I've ever met. It's always like something appearance wise.
Okay.
Like you're just like a put together person. I feel like when you are
Sure, yeah.
out and about the world.
Boot in a boot. Okay, what's a recent self-realization that you had?
I would say it was like in my business. I kind of like realized that I need to kind of pivot a little bit what I'm doing. Yeah, I would say that is probably it. Yeah, like just kind of pivot. Like I said, things I'm saying yes to, things I'm saying no to.
Right.
That was probably the most recent.
What's the biggest misconception people have about you?
That I am an extrovert. These people think that I am like the most extroverted person ever. I am not. Like, no. Carissa, if I hadn't met you before, I probably would be a little bit more like introverted because I don't like 100% know you yet.
Like right now, introverted, like on this podcast. Oh, okay. I'm glad we met. And then you could feel free.
Right. Yeah. A lot of people think I'm more like extroverted, but that's actually my husband Charlie is like the extrovert, like the one who's gonna go up and talk to you like a stranger. I'm more, I keep my circle of friends close. Like I'm more introverted.
Yeah. Okay, what is a limiting belief about yourself that you've had to overcome or are currently overcoming?
A limiting belief. Could you define limiting belief?
Like something that in your brain has held you back.
Yeah, like, oh, I can't do that because I'm not blank enough or something like that.
I think like in my business, a big thing has been like my niche, like, oh, I'm a photography educator. I can't, branch out and do influencing or do fashion or, do other things. Like I have to stick to photography. I currently am overcoming it. I think specifically when I went on my Italy trip, I tried to do a little bit more just like personal posts, like just of me and of Charlie and like of the landscape. And those performed really well. It got a lot of engagement, which was kind of just like solidified my feelings of like, oh, I want to do this a little bit more. I would say I'm still kind of battling it. And I mean, it's kind of like a thing I have to take time in my day to do. Like I have to intentionally incorporate it into my day because I feel like right now I'm so photography education focused in my niche that I don't have time in my week to where I'm like, oh, let's go take outfit pics. Like that's just not in my schedule right now. But I, like, that's something that I'm currently integrating, overcoming.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, our last one is the deepest maybe.
No.
You got this. It's not that bad. Okay. What is something that you think you need to hear right now?
that it's okay to rest and take a break.
Amen.
Yeah, that's especially because like I shot my last wedding like 2 weeks ago. Like I am horrible at just like being okay with nothing. Like being okay with today I'm going to read a book. Like I love to just always have something to do. So just being okay with the fact that like I know things are going to pick up, or like this season is for a reason, like to work on other things. Yeah. Just kind of chilling and like not constantly doing something is something that I definitely need to work on.
And especially like seasonally, I feel like we kind of talked about this last year when you're like, it's winter and I just don't have the same, like, I just don't have the same workload. And that's always like kind of messed with your head. Since I've known you.
Yeah, no, it definitely does mess with my head. And I feel like I kind of I transitioned from shooting weddings and like being the photographer to then being more of like a content creator and like working with brands during the winter. And that's kind of a hard transition for me to make because I'm always like, oh, I need to be shooting. Like it's still hard for me to realize that this other part of my business is actually a part of my business. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
You did
wow,
great.
That was so deep. Oh my gosh.
You survived
You
speed
did
round
so well.
How do you feel? Take a deep breath.
I feel
We did
so
it.
exposed.
Well, thank you for exposing. We appreciate vulnerability on the Love That For Us podcast because it makes people feel seen and related to. And
Of course.
we know you didn't ask for that, but people can find you on Instagram at Cassidy Lynne, YouTube at Cassidy Lynne, TikTok at Cassidy Lynne Photo, and listen to your podcast, which is Oh Shoot with Cassidy Lynne.
Everything's
Is that all the
Cassidy
things?
Lynne.
Those are the ones? Yes.
Yeah. And Lynne is with an E at the end. Okay.
Yes.
Not to get confused with the normal Lynne. L-Y-N-N-E. There's an E.
She's extra.
Yeah.
And then you have like a course that's available right now, your wedding photographer course.
Yes. Yeah.
What's
That's like
that
always
about?
available. It's literally just like a walkthrough of a wedding day. Like I literally hired a videographer to follow me around all day. So you hear me like I'm mic'd up and everything for an entire wedding day. And then there's videos about like different like workflows and like my setup. So there's some teaching and then you can actually like follow me on a wedding day. So
That's so valuable. I love that.
yeah, I think so too.
Well, we are so grateful for your time. Thanks for coming and hanging out and being a part of really the first guest of this to be very successful podcast.
I am honored. I can't wait for your success. I love that for us.
I love that for us.
Love that for us. All right. Bye, everyone. We will see you later.